Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video and welcome back to a Challenger Spectator. And today we're watching Jinx. Now the reason be it is Jinx has received a few buffs back to back. That the first buff, they increased her range, they increased the reactiveness of the chompers, but they did nerf her base health. Well, recently they just reverted it, so she has high base health again. So she has DC'd this Jinx in Challenger, but I presume she comes back, which is a bit weird. But the reason we're watching her is she's against Kai'Sa this game, who, let's be honest, has been the powerhouse AD carry of Season 11. Combining with Jhin and, I guess, Samira a little bit. But Samira's been nerfed. It's arguably not enough, but Jinx with her buffs is Jinx, and what I've been kind of seeing, the traction of the game, is Jinx the new powerhouse AD carry. She synergizes really well with the new items. Again, it's especially giving a high attack speed champion like Jinx, giving her, you know, a balk for AD carry and all that, like Kraken Slayer, is quite scary. So let's see. You know, I've seen a few Jinxes myself. I'm like, oh my god. And the one thing I would say about the champion, she is a very snowbally AD carry because her core fundamentals. Meanwhile, level 1 cheese by the enemy team. They do get close to kill on Janna, but she will just survive. And now the Kai'Sa is being absolutely owned. So you might be like, oh, that's pretty good for blue. No. So now you have an AD carry that has to burn through at least her only potion and is still going to be relatively low health. So yes, it's good to have, oh, nearly got that kill, but you didn't get the kill. So now you used your ignite. And your Kai'Sa is going to be lower health. So questionable that was actually a good thing for blue team. So what was I saying? Meanwhile, first blood in top lane, Rengar takes out a Riven, and Riven has exhaust and still lost. So that's kind of crazy. But yeah, so Jinx, really snowbally AD carry, because if you kill a target or get an assist on a target, you really speed up, and that allows you to do more damage and run at people. So yeah, if you can start snowballing, they can't really get away from you in some situations. So the early game, not too bad, obviously, for Jinx and Janna. Arguable positioning mistake there by her going the whole way around. But, if you know, they have vision, luckily, of the Kayn, so she knew there wasn't a Kayn there. But he is making his way. He started this side and is making his way to bot. He's probably decided that because, oh, bot lane could be a gankable lane because we have a hook champion. Meanwhile, they do land a hook. Jinx taking a bit of damage, will not go down though. Janna will do some damage as well to the Kai'Sa, has to burn her heal. And Jinx has, well, she's got a lot of control over herself because she's kept both summoners even though she got quite low health. Is kind of weird, I will say, to point out. Both bot laners in a challenger game, Janna and Jinx both took heal. That is what you'd maybe call a mistake because, again, there's diminishing returns to heal. If one person is healed, the next person does it. It doesn't heal for as much. So, arguably, they shouldn't both have heal. Anyway, gank coming. Both junglers here. So, early pressure in bot lane. Not too surprising, I'd say. Meanwhile, Kayn, though, has level advantage over Lee Sin. Don't go for it, Lee. Janna flashes, which then forces the Kayn flash. Thank God Lee Sin didn't go for that because, again, he would have just got kind of dragged into the tower by a Kayn flash. But overall, good for red team. The one thing I will say, though, you can see, you know, yes, it's gone quite well for red. Kayn arguably shouldn't do that gank, by the way. He will actually maybe die. He does. Wow, that's pretty bad for Kayn. And now, can the Jinx do anything with this? Does tank a tower shot? Tornado coming down, misses the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa might look for a snipe, but Lee Sin is still in the area. I think they should back out. Be happy with what you got. We don't know where... Well, actually, we do know. The enemy is a mid lane. The Diana's gone back. But yeah, be happy with that. Red buff for Kai'Sa. Sorry, Jinx. I was going to say, even though the pressure difference has gone pretty well for red team, the good thing that Kai'Sa, if the Kai'Sa gets most of this farm... Oh, bad flash play by Naught, but he does have Hex Flash. The Kai'Sa's farming really well. To be that little... Oh, lovely play. Should have avoided the tornado if possible. If the Nautilus hit that, by the way, that actually could have killed the Nautilus as well. So now we're starting to see the big pressure from red team, especially with the red buff combo. And yeah, Janna's, you know, Janna's a controversial solo queue. Meanwhile, overstay by Nautilus, and that will pick up another kill for Jinx. So yeah, Snowball City is coming. But Janna, the good Jannas in League are aggressive. The bad Jannas of League are defensive. And they just play passive. Janna's max W, is this one doing it? Let's see. Yep, 2 points in W. Gives you the high damage numbers, base damage for a Janna. And you do a lot of damage with your summon Airy and auto attacks. If you shield yourself auto, you're giving yourself the AD. Yeah, good Jannas are aggressive. Jinx can play fairly aggressive. But also, Janna's a great pick with Jinx because Jinx has lack of mobility before Gale Force. So when she hits... Well, she can do a good tornado to get people off. When she hits 6, the Monsoon can blow people off the Jinx that sometimes Jinx needs. Anyway, Tier 2 Boots Rush, not too surprising. Tier 2 Boot Rush is because that helps with snowballing. The enemy AD carry has no boots. You have Tier 2 boots. You are so much faster than the enemy AD carry now. Plus, combining with your passive, if you manage to get a kill or assist, they really can't get away from you. But yeah, good to see. Good recovery play up in top lane. 2 for 2 up there. Nautilus, though, hanging in mid lane on the Diana, who just survives. And they will look for a play on the Kai'Sa. The minions walk in front and do block that. And I would expect maybe not fast pushing at the moment. You could freeze it a little bit if they wanted to, but it does look like maybe numbers advantage is red favored, so this will slowly push in red team's favor. What you could do, depending how much synergy you actually had, you could freeze this as much as possible, build a big wave for red, and then time when this is actually crashing to go get dragon. But that is not happening, unfortunately, for red team. Tornadoes coming out, you know, random tornadoes. Kai'Sa taking a bit of the AoE damage there by the Q of the rocket from Jinx. Now they're pushing in, and we'll say red team, little vision. They don't have a tri-bush ward, for example, over here, which they arguably should definitely have. But they are getting another tower plate, doing a bit more damage, and also damage to the tower, and a bit more damage to the enemy team. They now have Vision of Kayn, though. Level 6 is both junglers, walking into a Diana. Kayn going in near the tower. Unfortunately, Diana's not level 6. Lee Sin in the area, though, lands that Q somehow, and they will pick up the kill, which is overall really nice. They do stop the ult and combining to each other's damage. Oh, the Lee Sin will go down. Let's see what's happening in bot lane, though. They're doing a bit of damage to Nautilus, and he just stands still. He knew he was dead anyway, but he gets caught out and will end up dead himself. So, going really well in bot lane. 4-0 Jinx. The farm gap is now going up. We did say earlier, oh, the Kai'Sa's farm is pretty good. That gap is now opening because the snowball has started. As I said, I think Jinx, with all the buffs that they've given her, especially the increased range, 25 extra range per rank, etc., that's really huge. That's really big. I mean, she was already, before all the buffs, she is a snowballer AD carry. That's the thing on Jinx. Really, again, good tornado, you know, randomness, I would say, sometimes. Not just predicting, like, 100% where the champion is, predicting there'll be movement in it. But Dragon arguably should be looked at for the Lee Sin. It's an Infernal Dragon that gives 4% AP AD ratio or scaling that the other team simply cannot get. His bot lane is strong, and that's usually the key fundamental of, oh, my bot lane's winning, we can go do Dragon for free. Again, more poke by this Jinx, man. She uses ultimate, which wasn't a great ult. The Nautilus just completely blocks it. They've got no mana now, and the enemy team is looking for a gank. Nautilus misses his hook. That's bad. Even if he hit it on the wall, it would have helped them get there. Lee Sin is in the area. They're not flashing yet. They're being patient. They use the heal over flash because that keeps them in the fight. Kai'Sa now ulting. They should just go for the Nautilus, if I'm completely honest. Or maybe they think he's a free kill. So they're going to go turn for the Nautilus. Free kill for them. Are they going to give it to the Jinx? It probably is likely. Yes, they do. And maybe now push it in, go for Dragon. They could even end up killing the tower if they really wanted it dead. Diana, by the way, is also on the way, but a little bit too late to catch anybody out. So, yeah, really good pressure. Both junglers have looked quite a lot in bot lane, but it's at the same time. So when one lane is now just stronger than the other, the jungle difference isn't going to mean that much, or the jungle ganks aren't going to mean that much, because then the strength level is just continuing. Worth knowing also, it's Blue Kayn, and he's 0-3 in the early game. Generally, again, by default, Blue Kayn isn't bad, obviously, but Red Kayn is better when you're having a bad game, because at least it gives your team utility. Blue Kayn, when it does bad, is an assassin, and obviously, fundamentally, assassins, when they do bad, aren't great. Because an assassin that is behind is an assassin that isn't doing their job of one-shotting people. So anyway, they get the tower pretty early in the game, before 10 minutes for a challenger game that is quick. They will go back, though, and with all their gold, straight into that Kraken Slayer mythic. And now I'd expect a lane swap. Riven, you can see, is struggling. She's doing okay. She hasn't, like, fed the Rengar, but she is 20 farm below him. Over 20 farm. 25 farm behind. So put Riven in bot lane. Put Rengar top if you wanted to. Put Riven bot, swap them basically. Give Riven the more free farming bot lane. Or you keep Riven in top, you look for a gank on him. You know Nautilus is in the area too. You know Kane's in the area because they're obviously expecting something. Let's watch what's happening top lane. He doesn't land the W. Riven, though, gets the combo, and then the damage from Jinx, going to do her best, does help the Riven get the kill. They will pick up more by the enemy team. Lee Sin with a lovely Q, double kill for him. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I actually had a coughing fit there. I had a bit of phlegm randomly, block my airway. Oh, I had to get rid of that. Oh, God, sorry about that. Anyway, let's continue. Worth knowing before we unpause, the Kai'Sa is staying bot lane in all of this craziness. And I'd probably say that is relatively the right call. It's putting the blue team at a big disadvantage numbers-wise, but the Kai'Sa, again, she's still good. She still has to scale. And arguably, if you take a team fight, you're going to just lose the team fight right now. So she is deciding, I'm staying bot lane, I'm going to stay just trying to farm. Hopefully my team doesn't do too bad. The problem being is the enemy team is still kind of misplacing themselves. Nautilus and Kane was in this area, get caught, die. Rengar overstays a bit with also knowing the enemy team is in the area, dies. So arguably the Kai'Sa is doing the correct thing here, but her team just is, again, playing a bit too aggressive for their own good. And you can understand it a little bit by the Kane. That champion is designed to try and get ahead, throughout the game, and he's getting really far behind. So he's probably feeling pressured to continue doing things. And that's the problem with more all-in champions. Their design doesn't make them, or can't really let them play passive. If Kane plays passive, he does nothing. So that's sometimes the problem with champions like Kane, Yasuo, all these champs. They're the same. Rengar, they have to play aggressive. Anyway, the tower on top lane will probably fall also pretty soon. Meanwhile, Diana actually picks the kill up on Anivia. So they spawn the Rift Herald nearby. Nautilus ganking, which I would presume Kane is in the area. There he is, so a little bit late. And Diana will just waddle away out. And yeah, doesn't get anything there. Top tower dead, so what I'd expect potentially, they'll push it a little bit, go back, buy, and then maybe you'll see the bot lane head mid. So they will kill the mid. So yeah, put Diana in a side lane, put Riven in a side lane, and then put Jinx in mid, and then they can pressure the mid tower that has not really been hit practically at all this game. And that looks like what's happening. So build by Jinx, obviously Kraken has her boots and now is starting to build her third item. I don't actually know what that's going to be. Could be PD, could be RFC. There's a bunch of options. I would say, controversial opinion, I don't know. I don't think AD carries have bad items. I actually think they have really good items at the moment. They have definitely done fine with that. The problem, and I think more the fundamental, is AD carries do decent damage. The reason why AD carries will still complain is they'll die. They're squishy champions, and the damage in the game as a whole has gone up. So fundamentally, it's harder to survive as an AD carry now. In some places, I would say, obviously, a Mortal Shield Bow makes you tankier. Gale Force gives, Jinx, if she wants to buy it, a dash that she doesn't normally have. So there are options, obviously, for AD carry to survive a bit more, but Kraken Slayer just does a lot of damage, so if you want to greed for the most damage, you're having a good game, Kraken's the thing to go, usually. So Rengar ults does survive, but then will stay in the area. Now, this is the point. He's just been ganked. He's just used ultimates to survive. They know Nautilus is here, by the way. So Jinx is on her way to make a big play. You can see Kai'Sa. They all know everyone's here. Nautilus engaging. Questionable engages this game. He's getting caught out again, and he will go down to the Jinx. Riven goes for an all-in play. Look at the damage, by the way, for the Jinx. And then combining that movement speed that we've mentioned a couple times, you're not getting away. You're just not. Kill for Lee Sin. Jinx doing a bit more damage. Crits. Nearly gets Kai'Sa to half health and 2 autos. And again, that early into the game doing that much damage is a lot. And now the red buff will be stolen for red team, given to the Jinx, which is good. And now, arguably after that play, Jinx should return to mid, get this more farm, and then, really start to work on this tower. The tower plates are literally about to run out, so Jinx isn't going to get any more tower plates, but she's had most of the tower plates that her team has actually had this game. Dragon is spawning soon as well. And, yeah, her whole team, all of them have their mythics. This is still obviously a point of discussion that mythics, they're cool in some places, but they still feel kind of unhealthy. When one team gets ahead in the early game, with how much strength are in these mythic items, when one team has got all mythics and one team has 2, it doesn't always feel the best. Meanwhile, Anivia does a bit of damage, but doesn't do enough, and now Jinx survives, turns the fight, and there you go. So that's the strength of Jinx, and unfortunately Anivia just couldn't quite get that kill. Meanwhile, top lane, Diana having a 3v1, and she takes out the Kayn. So a 0-6 Kayn now, and with Anivia dead, that opens up the pressure. Like, that's the good thing with Anivia, is she is one of the best champions in the game to stall a game. But obviously dying, you're not stalling the game when you're dead. Dragon is up, by the way, but red team continuing the pressure in mid lane. They're not getting like answered at the moment. Don't really know where the enemy bot lane is. The Anivia's dead, so can they actually get this tier 2? They actually might be able to, because Jinx, with her minigun form, high attack speed, yep, picks up 2 towers in mid at 15 minutes in the game. That is actually kind of crazy. She's going to back off, go help with the dragon. Gold-wise, she has got 2,200 gold at her disposal. Oh god, my throat still isn't right. But she will end up going back and buying her second complete item, which is a rapid-fire cannon. So, again, giving you that extra increased auto-attack every now and then is very good, especially combining with the rocket, especially if you've got red buff. It's just a nice synergy that slows the enemy team, a high attack for you, especially if it crits, fantastic. But yeah, now it has a pickaxe. What, maybe building... Again, it's still learning all the new item components. I haven't played that much AD carry in the new season, so is Infinity Edge still built of a pickaxe? Maybe. But yeah, I presume Infinity Edge next item, but it might be something else. Meanwhile, again, outnumbering the Diana 3v1. That seems to be the enemy's plan now, to try and catch up. They are outnumbering. And that isn't a bad tactic, but the badness, and again, Lee Sin overextending a bit, the badness comes of it if 3 of you are top lane, normally you'd lose something elsewhere because you're committing 3 people to 1. So the other side of the map, you know your teammates are outnumbered. Unfortunately, though, the Lee Sin really overextends and get himself killed. But they're going to go for the tier 2, which is still good. Tower is pressure, and they will pick up another tier 2. So that actually means they've lost all their tier 2s. That went down, that's dead, and now that's dead. So... And do they have any? They've got not there. They have mid. They don't have top. So the only one that the enemy team has is mid right now. So yeah. Anyway, Jinx walking with quite a lot of confidence. They have a decent amount of vision in the jungle. She's returning to mid lane just to do a bit more farming. Diana's like, oh no, I'm not getting any farm anymore. You can see 170 farm. Big farm difference in the AD carries naturally. Jinx is just getting everything. She's going top, getting all the farm, mid, getting all the farm, bot, getting all the farm. Meanwhile, there was someone in that bush. They do manage to avoid the W. I think it might have been Rengar. I know he's bot lane. Who was that? Kayn? And yeah, the play, I guess, now for red team is you could do, I think Rift is up. Yeah, do Rift, and that will give you pressure to kind of, you know, siege another tower. Enemy team, again, they're going to be looking for groups. 4-man, you know, maybe even get Rengar to come, and just looking for those like 3v1, 4v1 type moments. So if red team just decide to group and protect the Jinx, this game is pretty much over already. So she's going to go over and help the Rift Herald. It will go down, and now I'd expect red team to at least 4-man group with this Rift Herald when they decide to pull the trigger on it. I don't think Riven needs to group, but I'd say Diana probably should. Or you have 3 people mid. If you think you're that strong, you could go 1-3-1, 1 top, 3 mid, 1 bot. And that can work quite well too. But Jinx is going back, and yes, it's happening again. The outnumbering tactic that blue team is doing so far hasn't got the kill though for the Diana. Diana though is turning it around. Yes, in a 2v1, and the nice rocket from Jinx ends up with the kill. So, you know, the blue team's trying, but they just can't seem to get anything here. The Nivea's not done bad this game. It hasn't really been on her. It's just been a little bit of a jungle and bot lane kind of fiesta that has snowballed the game out of control. Kai'Sa gets herself caught by the Lee Sin. She does survive, though. Lee Sin's damage, let me be honest, not crazy impressive. Riven surviving a little bit longer. Rengar flashing. Nice play by Riven, and now Nautilus gets caught out too. And this is where you could continue with the Rift Herald, break open the base, or whatever you want to do. Break open multiple. Diana's working on top, Jinx is working on mid, and Riven's about to work on bot. This is what we'd call a crushing defeat so far. And yeah, the autos from Jinx, causing the Kayn to flash, Anivia flashing as well. Gonna try and kite a little bit, but Jinx does get stunned. Lee Sin will pick up the kill on Kayn, and arguably in 3v1, sorry, in one motion, they actually could get all the inhibs, which is kind of crazy at pre-20. They may be getting all inhibs at the exact same time, which is kind of nuts. So yeah, Rift Herald coming out, 2 inhibs down. They're going to rotate for the 3rd, arguably. Oh, no, they're just going to go straight for the base towers. River going to finish that one probably, though. Here we go. Bam, 1 tower dead. That's about to die. There it is, and there. So literally, they have every single thing in the base within a minute of each other. That is kind of nuts. Like, that's very rare to see, especially in Challenger. Is the game over, though? That is the question. Let's have a little watch. So Jinx staying pretty safe in the back line. Overextending by the Anivia. She will go down by the Riven, who's had a pretty good game. Obviously, she died in the early game, and she has the exhaust, but she's had a good recovery game. And there you go. 807 Jinx. Pretty solid game. So what do you guys think? Do you think Jinx is now the new power carry in bot lane? She has so much snowball potential that if she wins bot lane, yeah, well, like you saw this game, she kills towers really fast with that minigun. She can kill bot lane. She can go top kill that, go mid, get 2 towers in one play. She's one of the best snowballing AD carries, even before the buff. That's the point. She's always done that, but now she's even stronger, has higher range. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you did enjoy, do throw a like on the video, throw a comment, let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.